Hi everyone. So what I'd like you to do for this lesson is I'm going to read you a story all about an adventure, and it's called Where the Wild Things Are. I want you to think about adventures while I'm reading you this story. I know you've had a lovely week off and you've probably had lots of adventures with your family during that time. Maybe you had a dream that had an adventure in it. Maybe your thoughts brought you to an adventure. After the story, I'd like you to draw me a picture of an adventure. It can be something that happened in the story, or it can be an adventure of your own. And I want you to take a little video of yourself showing me your adventure and explaining what's happening in it. Right, let's have a look at this adventure. It's called Where the Wild Things Are. That's the title of our story. And it says Story and Pictures by Morris Sendak. That means he wrote the story, he was the author, and he also drew the pictures. He was the illustrator. Now I'm going to open my book, and here it has the title again, Where the Wild Things Are. There are lovely pictures and you'll be able to visualize the adventure, you'll be able to see it. Where the Wild Things Are. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another, his mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. Oh dear, poor Max. That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew. And grew. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines and that the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and day. And in and out of weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. My goodness, Max was brave. And made him king of all wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." Oh my goodness, what has he got planned? This is a picture of the wild rumpus. a rumpus is a noise. And here are more pictures of even more wild rumpusing. And again, Max is continuing the wild rumpus with his wild things friends. Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up, we love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him, which is just as well because he was hungry. And it was still hot. And that is the end of the story of Max's adventure of where the wild things are. And I can't wait for you to draw me a picture and tell me about your adventures. Slán.